So today we have to talk about ticker symbol DWAC, or as I like to refer to it as DWAC, because there has been going a lot with this stock, and this stock is honestly about to go crazy parabolic, right? So I want to talk about this, right? So, this has been a stock that we've been covering on this channel for a while, pretty much since the inception of the stock, right? From the very beginning. And of course, I didn't talk much. I didn't make that many videos around this time because the stock was consolidating. So there was no point in me covering this. But, I've been covering these recent periods in the stock again, and there's a big reason, right? And this is, very, very crazy, and we got to cover it today, right? So recently, and I don't want to go too far back in the timeline because, if you've been a viewer on this channel, you probably know everything that I mentioned, right? But for those of you guys that maybe know, recently we had this big spike up day, and it was simply just because of a pipe deal that was announced. Where actually, you know what, you guys may have to watch that other video because that pipe deal is something that's very complex. It was actually something I was new to, and I had to do research for that video. But definitely, what caused this catastrophic, bullish candle to go up. Then immediately after, we had the SEC announce the investigation going on with this SPAC, right? Now, who called that investigation, or who was on the media talking about why this stock had to, or this SPAC had to go and get investigated? It was pretty much who Donald Trump publicly called Pocahontas, right? And the whole reasoning behind the investigation is that they're alleging that there were talks before the merger happened, and that was honestly a plan to really scam retail investors out of their money with all this meme stop hype and having a SPAC tied to former President Donald Trump. So there's a lot of controversy with this. This is why this stock is pretty much priming itself up to go ballistic, right? So we had the bad news go on. Now today we have some more green candles, doing crazy numbers, right? In fact, if we go into a 5-minute chart and so kind of see exactly what happened specifically today, let's go ahead and measure it, and we'll say from the low today of $48.50 to the high $69.49, pretty much 43, almost 44% in one day. I don't know if you guys understand that, but that is insane, right? That is insane. So what is causing this? Well, let's go ahead and go to this article over here. Let's just read this out loud. So it just says, on Monday, Trump Media and Technology Group confirmed Congressman Devin Nunes, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but you guys let me know in the comment section below, will leave the House to begin his role as CEO of Trump Media and Technology Group, right? Now, this is interesting that this is coming out now after it's being investigated. So it's definitely an interesting time that this news is coming out, but they need to bring out something, any good news right now is the time, right? Definitely. And it says Nunes, again, correct me if I'm pronouncing it incorrect, is set to retire from Congress and assume his role as Trump Media and Technology Group CEO in January. So this is happening very, very soon. Now I want to go to this other article that I think is even more juicier, right? So it just says, there's no way the SEC allows Trump SPAC to go through, Whitney Tilson says, right? And again, maybe pronouncing these names incorrectly. A former hedge fund manager is speaking out against the SPAC taking Donald Trump's media company public. What happened? Whitney Tilson issued an update on DWAC, the SPAC that announced a merger with Trump Media and Technology. To be clear, and these are, quotes, my view that this is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen, and this stock is going to implode, likely within days. Has nothing to do with my political views. So, Tilson is saying that this has nothing to do with their political views, that they just genuinely believe that this stock is one of the stupidest things that is about to implode. Now, they didn't mention if they believe that this stock is a scam, which is like what's going on with the ongoing investigation of, the talks of the two different parties really collaborating to, make this merger come out to really scam retail investors, right? So no comment on that was mentioned, right? Now it says the bear case for the stock is based on fundamentals, of which Tilson says there are none, and that True Social is nothing more than an idea at this point. Now, this is very fair because, that is pretty much what has been the bear argument. I've mentioned it on, my channel a multitude of different times where, a lot of the people out there that are, saying or having a bearish, outlook on this are screaming out that, there's nothing really out there to like solidify what the company is doing, right? I'm not sure if we even have engineers currently working on the platform. Hopefully we do, but we just don't have any information at all, right? So that's pretty much what has been, the bear case for the stock. One of the biggest reasons Tilson remains bearish is a belief the SEC could block the merger, right? Which would send the stock back down closer to its $10 net asset value. Wow. That is pretty much meaning the stock is, he's saying it's going to get obliterated, right? And he's also mentioning that this is, because of the SEC investigation, right? Because we have the ongoing investigation where it could go bad, right? It could go really wrong, right? It's right here. So Tilson also said the SEC could block the deal because of the way the $1 billion pipe deal was structured. Now, remember, we talked about the pipe deal that happened earlier, giving large investors shares at a discount to the current market price. Dwac pipe investors are able to resell their stock after the merger closes instead of typical SPAC outlook or lockup period, right? So, this is honestly just a further allegation that they're saying that on top of the SPAC having, conversations for the merger to come about and that it was a scam to, or is plotted to rob, retail investors, that this consciously also made this pipe deal to, again, scam retail investors by having, people with big wallets, big investors, right, private investors, buy into the stock at a lower price than the current market price, right? And, I covered, again, what the pipe deal was. Very, very complex, very, very unique. I was actually, it was my first time of hearing this. And so I covered it in that video, right? So this is just saying on top of the investigation believing that, this was a merger that was plotted out as a plan, they're also saying, because of the deal. So that's now two things, right? This is going back to what Tilson said. This is an indirect way to get a big meme stock offering to retail investors with some hedge funds standing in the middle and getting a cut. What a very, very strong statement here because, that we have two allegations or two arguments that this stock was pretty much, a big plot to rob retail, right? Now, speaking about retail, I want to actually show you guys this website right now. I mentioned this website in a recent video, and it was a video where I talked about alternative data, which is what hedge funds use to trade, right? And they look at data that is measured from all different things, like how many cars are leaving a parking lot. That determines how well a business is doing, right? So this website scrapes information online. It's called QuiverQuant. And right now we're looking at the most mentioned ticker symbols on the Reddit forum, which is where a lot of retail investors are at, right? And so we're looking at the last day. We see that Dwac is number 5 on the list. So, we're having a bunch of retail investors, gathered together and they're talking about this stock, which is obviously another reason what's causing, this momentum, right? So that's definitely, very important that, we have this information. This is the information that hedge funds use. Now, number one being mentioned on Reddit right now is GME, right? Now, there might be something going on with GME, but right now we're focused. Oh, actually, it's pretty much, I think, the NFTs that are in it. But anyways, we're not going to talk about that. For Dwac, we just have a lot going on. So that's why I believe the stock is going to be absolutely insane. Now, if you watch this video to the very end, then, congrats, because not a lot of people on YouTube make it to the end, believe it or not, with retention. But there's something else I want to cover. Now, something I talk about on my channel, right, on the, pretty much where I talk about with my team, the Push and Profit team, we talk about that for traders, to make a profit, all we really need is volatility. Regardless if it's going up or down, we just need a movement. And so with all this, crazy stuff going on, investigations, people saying this, the SEC involved, that provides a lot of volatility that as a trader, you could take advantage of. Now, you don't want to be on the wrong side, which is why, if you guys want to learn more about trading, definitely check out the first link in the description below. It's going to be a link to the Push and Profit program. And essentially, it's a program that has over 4 hours or actually 5 hours of video lesson libraries where I go over, trading strategies. You also get to message me at any anytime at the platform through our private Discord chat. Again, obviously I'm not going to respond automatically at like 3 in the morning, but of course, I'm going to be able to respond to you guys. And then on top of that, you guys get to network with other people who took the program, who are, just after learning the material. So you're not just talking with, people who don't really know much. You're talking about with other people who went through the structured training, right? So it's definitely a higher class of, people you get to network for trading and learning how to trade and how to profit. And, again, one of the things I talk about is the momentum. And so, what we got to look at going back on the charts is that, we saw that we bounced off the support. Now, I mapped out the support a while ago, right? Bounce up, we had the SEC stuff go on. And for the last 3 days, we have been pretty much going up. Now, granted, we go up, we open red, and then we end up going up and then up. And then today was pretty much the big day. Right now we're up above, even though you could barely see it, the green line that gets cut off here. I believe that Weibo's kind of glitching over here, but it's above the simple moving average. So this is showing signs of confirmation to buy in, right? However, one thing I do want to point out is that the RSI is very overbought. So this is a scary period, which is why this is not something I'm really planning on swing trading, meaning holding for more than 1 day. This is really a ticker symbol that I'm only comfortable with day trading, simply just because it could go up high depending on the success of the investigation, or it could just break down and get obliterated depending if the investigation goes wrong or goes bad for the SPAC, right? And so I don't want to be cut off in a bloodbath. So one of the things we talk about in the Push and Profit program is mitigating risks. And by let's do a shorter time frame, like 1 day. We're only going to day trade this, and then we're going to set our stop losses. We're going to lock in profits. Again, all things that we cover in the program, right? So and even if you may think, oh, but what if you miss out because you're not holding it overnight? Well, I want to point out that today, the 40% jump, this moved from $48 to 50 or $48.50 all the way to $69.49. This 43% jump up was during the day. You didn't have to hold this overnight. In fact, overnight it didn't really do much. So don't think you're missing out because you're not holding the stock overnight. I would personally, and again, this is just me. I'm only day trading this. I'm not holding this overnight. But again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This is definitely a very interesting thing that's going on with ticker symbol DWAC. And hopefully you guys subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.